Today we're going to look at how we can make a small box made out of slabs. What you're going to do is you're going to start with a chunk of clay, some wooden slats, and a rolling pin. In this image, I've already started rolling the clay pretty flat. I'm going to roll the width of it very gently so I don't roll it too thin, since I don't have those wooden slats to protect it. I'm gently and evenly adding pressure, constantly checking the thickness of the clay and adjusting it around so I can get nice even pressure. So when I'm happy with the size of the clay, I'm going to check against my stencils. I've got a base that's going to be for the top and bottom. I need 2 of those. So I'm going to line it up right in the corner so I don't waste any clay in the middle. Then I'm going to go just underneath it. Sometimes you can use the edge of something you've already cut to line up the paper for the next cut. So I've got 2 squares, one's for the top, one's for the bottom. And now this other piece of paper, that's going to be for the 4 sides. That one's actually a little bit slimmer, more like a rectangle. And you can even see that there's an arrow that says which way is up. So I'm going to actually cut them out and stack them in the same position that I'm cutting them out to help me remember which way is up. I could always put it next to the paper again if I forget. So I'm going to have 4 sides that I'm going to end up attaching to the top and bottom clay piece. Now I'm going to move the scrap clay out of the way and I'm going to start joining. The way that I do that is by scoring and slipping every section of clay that is touching another piece of clay. So I scored the bottom of the thing that's going to stand and then the top of the base. You'll see what I mean. So I'm scoring. I'm actually using a tool to add the slip because I don't want a lot of slip on my hands while I'm using this detailed work. Okay, then when I'm ready, you'll notice there's a little bit of space to the side. You want that on purpose, so then I can, that's on purpose because that little empty space on the side is going to be where the next one lines up. I'm going to score the side and the base. And then that piece of clay, I have to kind of use my imagination to imagine which section is going to be touching where so I know which to score and slip. I'm going to add some slip again with that tool so it's a little bit cleaner. And then when I attach the clay to it, you're going to notice that I'm going to add a bit of pressure. I'm not squishing the clay, but I'm using kind of even pressure to line it up and to push those pieces together. That's called compression. That compression is really going to help it stick together. Then I'm going to smooth out the lines where the clay is joined. I don't want to see where the clay is joined. Then I'm going to do it again. Lining it up, seeing where I want to fit it. Then I'm going to score. Then I'm going to score the next piece. Then I'm going to slip. Then I'm going to stick and compress it evenly, gently, and supporting the clay while I'm compressing it. Then I'm going to smooth it out. I sometimes smooth the top as well. Check the insides. This is a great spot to smooth out the insides because once I put that side on, it's a little bit harder. That last side, it makes it a little bit harder. So you can notice my last piece is bigger. I could have given you an extra piece of cardboard to cut out the last side, but I find it easier to just only have 2 different kinds of things to cut out and then I can line it up after. So you're going to notice that your side, I'm going to hold it so it cuts just enough off to fit inside. You can see that piece that I cut off is about the thickness of the tile, right? It's about the thickness of that slab. So now I'm going to score 3 sides on the inside, 3 sides on the outer part of that piece of clay. I'm going to add slip, as always. I'm going to compress it in. This one you're going to need to support it on the inside while you're compressing it to each side and then smoothing it out. Now doing it on the right area. Smooth it out. Now for the lid, I could actually join this in, but I want to be able to remove it. So I'm going to take a chunk of my extra clay that I had cut off. I tap it down so there's kind of a flat surface to join, scoring, slipping as I go. Compressing it a little bit. Smoothing it out with the tool in my fingers without crushing that little archway. That's going to be like a little handle. I don't want to pick it up by the handle right now because that clay is still have a lot of moisture. Remember we talked about that's plastic. It's in the plastic stage of clay. And if I try to lift that lid right now and try to let it support its own weight, it's probably going to tear off. I'm going to take another section of clay and cut out a shape that I'd like to attach to the side. You can do any shape you want. I chose to do a little cat, scoring both sides that I'm going to attach, slipping, then sticking it together, compressing it evenly, all spots while supporting the inside. I need to support the inside while I press, because if I don't support the inside, it's just going to kind of squish together. A pencil is actually a really good tool for adding designs. It's thicker than the needle. We do not want to draw designs with the clay needle right now because that just makes it too thin and that doesn't come out as nice when you try to glaze it. Smooth it out, clean it up. I could add some other designs on other sides, but I think I'm happy with this. And then it's going to dry just like that, and then we'll be ready to fire it.